Okay, so chapter 8 is entitled Never Wander. I will engage in some issues and viewpoints that we can discuss after we finish the lecture. From the title of the chapter, we understand something, that which school that does not accept wandering in the novel. We have two schools, a school of facts and a school of fancy. The school of facts focuses on facts only, one and one are two. So we are not supposed to imagine, not supposed to fancy, not supposed to love or feel or wonder. Wonder means
Dr. Omar,
yeah.
please, why the writer began start with a fact, not fancy?
Okay, because this is the subject of a criticism of the novel. The most important issue in the novel is Dickens' satire. Satire هو النقد اللاذع لهذا الموضوع. So he wanted to start with this issue, make it as the beginning. Normally, writers begin with the most important issue in their novel. يعني من زمان هذا شيء. If you have come across Jane Austen's novel Pride and Prejudice, لازم سامعين بها هذه الرواية. Pride and Prejudice. The first sentence highlights the problem of marriage. كل الرواية تحكي عن المرج ومشكلة المرج. I remember the first sentence of the novel is supposed to be a man of fortune or a bachelor of fortune must be in need of a wife. يعني هيك كانت بداية الرواية. So the same issue is repeated in Hard Times. Facts are alone wanted in life, nothing else. A plant nothing else and root out everything else. That's why Dickens made it at the beginning and discussed it very early in the novel. So back to this point, never wander. You see, the writer, yani in every chapter highlights something. Yani he started with the school of facts. He then referred to the school and the masters of the school and the children. Then he referred to his children, the great-grandchildren, and how they started speaking at the circus. Then he presented a new character, which also is counted to the school of facts, اللي هو Bounderby. And then we move to the keynote, to the setting of the novel, presenting the setting, discussing the problem of industrialization of the society, of the city. This is chapter, I think chapter 5. And then Slary's horsemanship, we move to the circus, to the other school. And in chapter 7 he highlighted the sposset and the discrepancy between social classes. And in chapter 8 we are back again to School of Facts and the people of that school. It is normally, or it is specifically dedicated for Gradgrind's families, Louisa and Tom. So, in order not to waste too much time talking about these points, the title is expressive. It tells us that School of Facts, people, students, masters, any individual is not supposed to, or are not supposed to wander. Wander يعني يتساءل. And they are not supposed to imagine, think about things and try to imagine them and have that kind of vision in your mind. No, you are not allowed to do that. You are supposed to accept facts just like axioms. The sun sets in the west and rises from the east. هذه حقائق. And you need to accept these facts without any negotiation, without any discussion. This is the School of Facts. So we begin in the Gradgrind's house, the setting of the chapter. The keynote again, the beginning. Let us track the keynote again before pursuing the tune. When she was half a dozen years young, Louisa عندما كانت half a dozen يعني نصف dozen يعني 6 سنوات, Louisa had been overheard to begin a conversation with her brother one day by saying, Tom, I wonder. Tom, أنا أتساءل. Upon which Gradgrind, who was the person overhearing, stepped forth and said, Louisa, never wonder. هذه قاعدة بالSchool of Facts. You are not allowed to wonder. We move to the next paragraph where we see, bring to me. Amchokum child, one of the masters of the school, says, yonder baby, bring me any baby just able to walk. أي طفل فقط يستطيع المشي, and I'll engage that it shall never wander. يعني I will make sure that he will never wander. He will be a student of facts. This is the principle upon which schools are working. So this is the slogan of a school of facts. Next, we move to the setting of the chapter, the Gradgrind's house. They were pretty well united on the point that these unlucky infants were never to wander. The School of Facts. So the School of Facts has some kind of principles or rules. So you can see here, body number 1, rule number 1, said they must take everything on trust. يعني they just accept what they are told without discussion, اللي هو الفacts. Body number 2, they must take everything on political economy. ياخذون كل شيء بقضايا الاقتصاد السياسي. يعني they should keep in mind what is beneficial, what is interesting, or anything of benefit to them. أي شيء بفائدة إلهم. Body number 3 wrote leading little books for them, showing how the good grown-up baby invariably got to the savings bank and the bad grown-up baby invariably got transported. So the people who graduate from these schools with facts, with education, they do what? They go as grown-ups, ناضجين, invariably got to the savings bank. يروحون يشتغلون في المناصب, في أماكن البنوك, في something that could be of benefit to them. And the bad grown-up baby, والشخص اللي يكون bad grown-up يعني اللي ما استلم التعاليم مال الفاكتس في السكولز, he got transported, ينقل إلى مكان آخر, يعني does not engage in any business. Number 4, under very pretense of being droll when it was very melancholy indeed, made the shallowest pretenses of cancelling pitfalls of knowledge, into which it was the duty of these babies to be smuggled with inveigled, but all the bodies agreed that they were never to wander. قاعدة اللي يمشون عليها أنه we are not allowed to wander. هذا الشيء اللي students should work on. The next point discusses the people of the society. This is an important issue. There was a library in Coketown. ملخص هذا الباراجراف, مكتبة موجودة في Coketown, and people used to go and read or entertain themselves in that library. They wondered, the people of the town, they wondered about human nature, طبيعة البشرية, human passions, hopes, fears, struggles, triumphs and defeats, the cares and joys and sorrows, the lives and deaths of common men and women. So these were among the interests of the people of that town. So they sometimes, after 15 hours work, بعد 15 ساعة عمل, sat down to read mere fables, فقط الحكايات الخرافية, about men and women, more or less like themselves, and about children, more or less like their own. They took Defoe, حكيت لكم على ديفو في بداية الكورس, دانيال ديفو كاتب رواية روبنسون كروسو, to their bosoms. So they loved the writings of Defoe, instead of Euclid who a Greek math scientist. They preferred fiction. They preferred something that could entertain them better than the people of facts. أكثر من الناس اللي يعنون بقضايا الفacts. As we see here, a reference to this Greek scientist. And seemed to be on the whole more comforted by Oliver Goldsmith, a dramatist. يرتاحون إلى كتابات Goldsmith خلاف كوكر أيضا رياضي مشهور, a man of mathematics, mathematician. So this was the case of the society. They were people who love triumphs, passions, human nature, sorrows, joys, reading fiction and literature in general rather than math and other issues. So this expresses, هذا الباراجراف يوضح لنا شغلة إنه people loved these things. They cherished these aspects of life rather than the math, the facts, and the school of facts. And so the writer tries to criticize the school of facts and tell in a way that, look, this is what we need in the society. So the library, only a small library, فقط مكتبة صغيرة في المدينة can provide all these joys for the people. Whereas a whole school, بينما مدرسة كبيرة مقارنة بالمكتبة مدرسة كبيرة cannot provide anything. This is something incorrect according to Dickens and criticized, so it must be improved. لهذا يجب أن يتم تعديل هذا الشيء according to Dickens. Gradgrind was forever working in a print and out of a print, and thus eccentric some. He never could make out how it yielded this uncountable product. شوفوا هنا انتقاد لجرادجرايند اللي يشتغل بالبرنت وبالمدارس والطباعة والنشر. He was never able to produce this product اللي احنا شفناه بهذه المكتبة الصغيرة اللي وفرتها هذه الإمكانية القليلة. Then we move to a new important thing. I am sick of my life. Lou. راح تشوفون مفردة لو كثيرا. منو لو؟ برأيكم؟
لوسي؟
No.
لوسي؟
Lou is Louisa. Who is Lucy? منو هاي اللي قالت لوسي؟ منو لوسي؟ ما عندنا لوسي هنا.
تقصد سيسي.
سيسي. You mean سيسي. لوسي هاي قصيدة لWordsworth. بينما احنا عندنا سيسي.
اي راحت على البوتري.
Yeah, she went to poetry. I am sick of my life, Lou. I hate it altogether. أنا مريض, يعني أنا بزعان من هذه الحياة, Lou. I hate it altogether. Whom do you think is speaking? منو ممكن يحكي هذا الكلام؟
توم.
Yes. توم. ما حد ينادي لويزا بهذا الاسم, فقط توم. Only Tom calls Louisa with this name, Lou. I hate it altogether and I hate everybody except you, said the unnatural young Thomas Gradgrind in the haircutting chamber at twilight. You don't hate Sissy, Tom? Why do you think Tom says this? I am sick of my life, Lou. I hate it altogether. I hate everybody except you. ليش تعتقدون Tom say this issue? Sarah Qasim, what do you think?
Rita, I think this when Tom says I'm sick of my life because he is fed up from his father's philosophy.
Yeah, he is fed up with his father's philosophy, with the educational cramming he receives at school, with the lack of joys and interests. كل هاي الأشياء helps in destroying the psyche of the student and pushing him to his own limits. So هنا Tom seems very burdened يعني متحمل ثقل كبير because of the school of facts, and he is just ready to explode. He hates the school, the facts, the principles, everything that he inherited or learnt from his father. I hate to be obliged to call her Jupe. And she hates me, said Tom moodily. No, she does not, Tom, I am sure. Louisa says this. She must hate me, said Tom. She must just hate and detest. تكره ودetest يعني يمقت أقصى أنواع الكره. The whole set out of us. كل السيت مالتنا احنا جماعة السكول of facts. They all bother her head off. كلهم يزعجون رئيسها ودماغها بهاي الأفكار. I think before they have done with her. Already she's getting as pale as wax and as heavy as I am. أصبحت وكأنها شاحبة، كأنها شمع يعني، وثقيل جسمها بسبب الفاكتس يعني كلام مجازي طبعا. Just like Tom, as heavy as he is. Young Thomas expressed these sentiments sitting astride of a chair before the fire with his arms on the back and his sulky face on his arms. His sister sat in the darker corner by the fireside. شوفوا darker مخليها الكاتب بالbold. It refers to something. So Louisa sits in a dark corner في زاوية مظلمة because this is not her place. She is supposed to live in a brighter place because of her minds, because of her philosophy, but she is forced مجبرة أنه تتواجد في هذا المكان. Now looking at him, now looking at the bright sparks شرارات النار as they dropped upon the hearth بالموقد. As to me, said Tom, tumbling his hair, he says he is a donkey because he does not understand anything because of the facts. That's what he is. He says I am obstinate عنيد. As one I am more stupid than one. He is also very stupid than anybody else. He gets much a pleasure as one, and I should like to kick like one, not me, I hope, Tom. So this expresses the case of Tom, how he is fed up in this life. No, Lou, I wouldn't hurt you. I made an exception of you at first. I don't know what this, etc. So these, let me say, these three paragraphs I highlighted express the case, the status of Tom, and how he is fed up with his own life. Indeed, Tom, do you really and truly say so? Why, of course I do. What's the use of talking about it? Pretend Tom. Because Tom, said his sister after silently watching the sparks a while, as I get older and nearer growing up, I often sit wandering here and think how unfortunate it is for me that I can't reconcile you to home better than I am able to do. This is Louisa speaking. She is saying بينما أكبر أنا في هذا المكان أنا مرات أتساءل and think وأفكر how unfortunate يعني كيف هي سيئة الحظ for her, Louisa, that she cannot reconcile يعني يصالح يعني يربط بين يجد علاقة أو ربط بين اثنين. reconcile you to home تحاول أن توفر له المكان أو الأتموسفير المناسب في البيت better than I'm able to do أفضل مما يمكن أن توفر الآن. I don't know what other girls know. I can't play to you or sing to you. I can't talk to you so as to lighten your mind حتى for I never see any amusing sights or read any amusing books that it would be a pleasure or a relief to you to talk about when you are tired. This paragraph, what do you think this paragraph tells us? What does it imply, this paragraph? Any idea? Any idea, girls? أريج سعدي.
يوضح حالة لوسي.
In English, please. What do you? No, we are not talking about Lucy. Again, Lucy, Rich. We don't have Lucy. We have Sissy and we have Louisa.
Louisa.
Yeah, we are talking about Louisa. So, what do you think Louisa is trying to do here? Trying to say, actually.
Express the case of Louisa and her life.
Okay. She is trying to do some favors to her brother Tom, but she says, I can't. This paragraph shows the kind of relation between Louisa and her brother. She says, I cannot play with you, I cannot sing to you, I cannot provide you with the stories, I cannot read amusing stories for you. So because all these things are banned, محظورة في بيتهم هاي الأشياء, so she cannot provide these things. So this tells us that their connection is very strong. Louisa has a very strong connection with her brother. Their relation is very very strong and powerful. So she seems so close to her brother. She likes him very very much. So she is ready to do anything for him. Well, no more do I. I am as bad as you in this respect. So he says that we are just in the same boat. نحن بنفس المود، نفس الأشياء اللي نعاني منها اثنيناتنا. So you don't need to blame yourself. He also describes himself as a mule, which he is not. If father was determined to make Tom either a prig or a mule, and he is not a prig يعني خنزير أو some other animal, I'm not sure, why it stands to reason that he must be a mule, and so he is. So Tom desperately so always Tom describes himself as just like a donkey or a mule or something that هاي الأشياء طبعا لها علاقة. If you have an idea about these animals, they just obey the orders. When you tell the donkey move this way, it moves this way, and it does not changes, and it does not resist. So they just accept what they are told. The same case is true with the people of facts. They just accept the facts without any resistance, without any wandering, imagining, or any showing any ideas. It's a pity. It's a great pity, said Louisa after another pause, and speaking thoughtfully out of her dark corner. Again, this term is repeated. Tom, it's very unfortunate for both of us. يعني something that is سيء الحظ بالنسبة لهم اثنينهم. Oh, you said, Tom, you are a girl, Lou, and a girl comes out of it better than a boy does. For Tom, الgirl الposition مالتها أفضل من الboy. I don't miss anything in you. You are the only pleasure I have. You can brighten even this place. ممكن أنت حتى تنورين هذا المكان. This is how he considers his sister. Then he mentions this idea, which is important, because of his boredom, الملل مالته من الواقع اللي he is living. I wish I could collect all the facts we hear so much about, said Tom. يجمع كل الحقائق اللي سمعها وتعلمها. Spitefully setting his teeth, هيك يعض على أسنانه, and all the figures and all the people who found them out, كل الناس اللي جمعوها أو وجدوها. I wish I could put 1,000 barrels of gunpowder under them, يخلي براميل من البارود تحتها, and blow them all up together, فجرها كلها. However, when I go to live with old Bounderby, I will have my revenge. If you remember last time we in chapter 7, Bounderby said he is ready and he will bring Tom to work with him in the bank or some other place after he finishes his education. So there are plans for Tom to go and work with Bounderby. I will have my revenge. Your revenge? I mean, I'll enjoy myself a little and go about and see something and hear something. I will recompense myself. يعوض نفسه for the way in which I have been brought up. يعوض نفسه عن الأشياء اللي ينحرم من عندها في الماضي. What is your great mode of smoothing and managing, Tom? It is a secret, said Tom. It is not far off. This is Louisa and Tom, how he plans to live his life, manage his own life. It is not a secret. You are his little pet. Tom describes Louisa as pet. تعرفون حيوان أليف. You are his little Bounderby's little pet. So Tom says that Louisa is Bounderby's little pet. He likes her. You are his favorite, المفضلة مالته. He will do anything for you. When he says to me what I don't like, عندما يقول لي الشيء اللي أنا ما أرغبه, I shall say to him, my sister Lou will be hurt and disappointed. Mr. Bounderby, she always used to tell me she was sure you would be easier with me than this. هاي الجملة يقولها لي Bounderby, and then Bounderby will be flexible with him. That will bring him about or nothing well. هذا الشيء اللي راح يلينه and nothing else. So this also refers to the kind of relationship between Bounderby and Louisa. So now we feel that Tom is using his sister. If you feel this point here, when Tom goes to Bounderby and takes or needs something, he will just mention the name of Louisa for Bounderby, and Bounderby will do whatever he wants, because you know Bounderby likes Louisa. There are hints in the previous chapters. Then there is one thing to be said of it. Louisa repeated in her former curious tone, it will be getting away from home. This is another plan that Louisa thinks about. Yes, not but what I shall be very unwilling but to leave you, Lou, and to leave you here. أتركك وأتركك في هذا المكان. So this is the plan Tom works on. When he tries to amuse himself, he needs to be away from this house. Wandering is repeated more than once. And then you have Mrs. Gradgrind entering the scene. I was encouraged, this is Louisa talking to her mother. I was encouraged by nothing, mother, but by looking at the red sparks dropping out of the fire and whitening and dying. Yani this is the process of life. Louisa thinks about this issue just like a life cycle. دورة حياة. شوف الشرارة مال النار تبدأ حمراء وبعدين تبدأ تسقط تنزل في النار وبعدين تصير بيضاء وبعدين تنتهي وتموت. It is reflected on human beings, just like a comparison between this kind of cycle of life and the cycle of life of human beings. So humans are going to die sooner or later. So they need, as if she is telling us that we are going to die, so we need to amuse ourselves a bit. It made me think, after all, how short my life would be. شو راح تكون حياتي قصيرة, and how little I could hope to do in it. وشنو اللي أقدر أسويه بهذه الحياة. This is an important quote for Louisa. This is the end of the chapter. Here we have, as you see, the chapter started with the title. The title is something interesting, and it needs to be highlighted when we discuss. And then a reference to Tom and how they were not supposed to wander according to the principles of the School of Facts. And then some rules that the graduates of schools need to keep in mind. The schools, reference to the society and how the society looks to entertain itself, how the people looks to entertain themselves from this library to learn about the joys, about the passions, the human nature, the sorrows, the writings of Defoe and Goldsmith. So they looked for something interesting, not the facts, the people of facts that Gradgrind is teaching. The other point is a conversation between Tom and Louisa, which explains explains it in detail, how they feel and their points or their viewpoints towards the School of Facts. Some important quotations, extracts are highlighted, just like you see here. How Tom is sick of his life, and Louisa as well, what they plan to do to leave the place, go somewhere else. So this reflects the viewpoint of the students of the School of Facts and how they consider this school and their education. طبعا هذا also falls in the criticism of Dickens for this school, for these principles. لأنه Dickens يحاول يقول لنا look, those are the products of the School of Facts. Look how they live their lives and how they feel towards this life. They are bored. They cannot live their lives happily. And finally, we have the important quotation of Louisa, where she says, "My life is short, and I don't know what I can do in this short life under such circumstances." So Louisa and Tom discussion is shown here. Tom's life and what he plans to, the bond الرابط بين Louisa و Tom, and how they are very close to each other. Bounderby and Louisa, a reference here, because Tom made it clear that Bounderby likes Louisa and she is his pet. So his satire, Dickens' satire on educational system, is made clear here. Tom's dissatisfaction with this education and Louisa's desire to do more and learn more. Tom plans to sacrifice sister for his own purposes and desires. Louisa's fondness of Tom and her inability to amuse him, while Bounderby is fond of Louisa and ready to do anything. This is the summary of our chapter 8, Never Wander.